Well, before we dive into some of your amazing strategies for being more time efficient, I'd love to know what are some things that we should not be doing? Because I
Okay.
think I think sometimes like being in this job for so long, like we've done the same thing for so long, and you just kind of forget, you don't even realize whether or not you're being the most efficient, right? Because you've just been doing it the same way for forever. So what are some things that we should look out for of like what we should not be doing?
And I think going on what you were saying about doing something that we've always been doing, the other thing is that we were trained to do something one way. And when we were doing like our teacher prep
Teach.
program, and it
Mm-hmm.
may have been that we were learning how to teach just one prep. And
And
so just some of our habits we just
yes,
carried
yes.
on. So the first one is planning each class in a silo. And you can get varying advice out there where it is you go through the entire week or unit and you just look at Algebra 1 and you are only looking at Algebra 1, you're putting on your blinders, you're not looking at anything else. And this is why I feel like it is a mistake. Is because you end up inadvertently doing things to cause yourself more work. For example, you may just accidentally assign a project or even like your final assessment to coincide or land on the same day. Then that's going to require you a lot more work on grading. So if you can actually look at all of your classes and plan them like simultaneously at the same time, you're paying attention to when you're starting a unit, when you're ending a unit, when you're going to be able to have your assessments. And maybe you even stack it so that you have an assessment happening in one class where you know students will be working. And so you can be sitting at your desk. And that can also, in another class, you've just had them turn in a big assignment that will require a lot for you to grade. So now you can do that at the same time, and you're really working smarter
Ooh.
instead of harder. You're not having to take a ton of things home during certain periods of time because you know when you start doing it in silos and you start not really paying attention to what's happening when, you could have a week where you are just overwhelmed with a ton of different things to do, and then you have quiet times. And what would be best is if you can just spread everything out along the way around the school year instead of just having like huge chunks of amounts of work that you need to do. So that's my first one.
Okay.
The
That's
second one,
great.
the second one is the other big thing is that I preach all the time is stop spending so much time searching for the best way to teach something. Unfortunately, like we've got Pinterest, we've got social media, you've got Instagram, and there are so many great ideas out there, but it can be a time suck. We can sit on there forever. You've got this concept that you're going to be teaching, and you want to find out the best way, the most engaging way for your students to learn this concept. The best, my advice there would be set a timer, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, however long you want to spend doing that, and just spend that amount of time. And once that timer goes off, you just accept one, you choose one. This is the one I'm going with. I'm going to try it out because just like what we teach our students, we want them, they're going to have to fail in order to learn. And that's with us too. So there's a lot of times where we just have to try something out, and our best idea could very well be the very best idea. We know our students, and that is another huge time suck. I know I've spent hours and hours and hours on Pinterest or on Google trying to find the best thing. And
And
then,
whatever that means, right? What is the
right,
best? Right.
what does that mean? Yeah, exactly. What does that mean? And then, I don't know if this has ever happened to you. So you spend like 3 or 4 hours planning a lesson, now thinking I just put in that much time, it's going to then take my students an hour, maybe 2 hours, a couple class periods, and then they finish it in 5 minutes. And you're like, what now? So just kind of thinking about how much time you're putting into something versus what the return on that is. And then totally accepting that you are the expert and you're just going to have to try things out. And sometimes they'll work and sometimes they won't. But just make note for next time. And hopefully you're getting to teach that class again.
Well, those are two really big knots, I guess we could